Hi, kiddos. Thank you for coming to this class. Today, I want to talk about. I want to give you an introduction to what intercepts are. So, if you remember in the last class, we wrote down the definition of interceptions. What is an X-intercept and a Y-intercept? And we know that interception, guys, is where two things crosses, two things crash. It's like when one car. Let's suppose that this car is going here. Okay, this car there is a car going throughout this all this way. Okay, there is a car here going all this way. I don't know how to make a car, guys. Let's suppose this is a car. So and this car is going here, and there is another street here. It sounds like a little bit crazy. Okay, there is another car here. So in this car, this is going to be a what? Let's say that this is going to be a bicycle. Let me see if I can make a bicycle here. Okay. Okay, let's suppose that is a bicycle. It doesn't look like a bicycle. But guys, if this car continues, guys, and goes on here, going all this way up, and this bicycle is getting down here, they are going to intercept at one point, right? At this red point. Okay, guys, if they touch, if they crash right there, that is the intercept. An intercept, guys, is a point where two things, guys, touch each other, where they cross each other. Okay, that is an interception point. And this is basically what we're going to talk what we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about cars and or bicycle, but the idea is in the coordinate system. We know that we got the x-axis and the y-axis, and we are going to identify the intercepts. But before, guys, actually going into the intercepts per se, I want to give you an idea. All right, this is what I want to explain. Okay, before going into the intercept per se. Let's say that you got this point and you need to represent this point in the coordinate system. Okay, the first point is 0 for x and 3 for y. Okay, let me remind you guys that when you got this, guys, the point, the coordinate, the ordered pair, guys, the first component is x and the second component is
Y.
y. Always like this. The first component is x and the second component is going to be y. Okay, this is x and this is y. Okay, I need to represent this point on the coordinate system. I need a hand. Help me out. The first point, guys, x is 0 for x. Okay, let's look. Where is 0 in x, guys? I'm going to move here and you're going to tell me stop where I have to stop. Tell me.
Stop.
Ah, we got a delay, guys. It's stop in 0, right? Okay, this is the first point in 0, right? 0 for x, okay, and then I need to move according to this y. Okay, how many for y, guys? 0 for x, okay, I'm here. And how many for y? 3 for y. Okay, it's positive, guys. Y is this line, guys. Okay, I'm gonna move from this point 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is where we're gonna get the point. Okay, this point is gonna be right here. It is supposed to be in red. Okay, that is a point. That is a point. This is the point number 1. Okay, this is point number 1. Okay, point number 1. Okay, let's try to plot the point number 2. Okay, the point number 2, guys, what is the x component?
0.
0. Okay, 0 for x. Okay, 0 for x is here. And how many for y?
-5.
-5.
Negative 5. Oh, negative, guys. In y means moving down or up?
Down.
Down.
Down. Okay, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Okay, here is going to be the next point, negative 5. Okay, and that is the point number 2. Okay, I'm going to make the point number 2. Okay, that is point number 2. All right, we are just representing this point. Let's represent the point number 3. Point number 3 is 3 for x and 0 for y. Okay, x. 1, negative 2. No, mister, it's positive 3. Okay, calm down. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 3 for x. And how many for y, guys?
0.
If it is 0, should I move or not? If I tell you move 0 units, you don't have to move, right?
No.
You don't have to move. Okay, just move in x. Okay, 1 in x, 2 in x, 3 in x, which is this one. Okay, and 0 for y, which means you don't have to move. Okay, I'm going to stay here in 3. Okay, that is going to be the next point. Okay, this point is going to be in 3 here. Okay, can you see it? That is the point number 3. Okay, let's represent the point number 4. The point number 4 is negative 4 for x. Okay, let's look it out. Okay, well, let's look this number up. Negative 4, 1, 2, or positive, negative. Okay, negative means move to the left. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Okay, this is the first point. And how many units should I move in y?
Anything?
0, nothing. You don't have to move, guys. Nothing. Okay, you stay here in -4. Okay, let's make the next point, which is this one. Okay, I'm gonna use yellow for this one. I don't know if you can see it. This is the point. This is the point. This is supposed to be the point, and this is the point number 4. Okay, guys. Basically, this is how do we represent this. Okay, but I want you to notice something, guys. All of this point, guys. What can you see in this point? Tell me. Take a look at this one, at the first 2 examples. If you got 0 for x, guys, that means when x is 0, guys, that is an intercept. Because an intercept, guys, is where you touch either the x or y axis. In this point, guys, you are touching what axis? The x or the y axis? The y axis. Okay, excellent. That point number 1. Let's take a look at the point number 2. What is the point number 2? Is here. What axis are you touching, guys? The x or the y axis?
Y.
Y again. And this one, number 3, what x? Well, sorry, I'm saying the answer. What axis are you touching? What axis are you touching? X or Y?
X.
X.
You're touching, this is an intercept for the X-intercept. And the number 4 again is X. But guys, maybe I'm moving a little bit ahead, guys, because I'm supposed to explain this later. But I want you to notice something, guys. If that this is the first 2, the first and second, both of them are Y-intercept, right? Because you're touching the Y axis. The first and the second one are Y-intercept. And when, guys, these both of them are Y-intercepts. And when you say, guys, Y-intercept, what happened with the X? What happened with the value for X's? They are, what is the value for them? X is equals to what? When we are talking about the Y-intercept, what is the value for X?
0.
Yes, it's 0. When you say Y-intercept, the X is 0 because you are in this line. You're not moving. The X is 0. Let's go to the Y-intercept. Maybe this is a little bit tricky, but don't worry, guys. You're going to understand this later. What the point number 3? Okay, what is this point number 3? Is Y or X-intercept? What axis is this point touching?
X.
X.
The X. Okay, both of them are X-intercept. Okay, X-intercept. Okay, X-intercept. And what is the value when you are talking about the X-intercept? What is the value for Y?
0.
Y is 0. Okay, just that. Y is equals to 0. Okay, just keep this in mind. If you can take a screenshot of this, guys, this is gonna save your life. If you say the Y-intercept, if you're finding the Y-intercept, X is 0. If you're finding the X-intercept, Y is 0. It's like the opposite. Okay, this is basically what I wanted to explain to you guys.
So
Okay, let's get down to this one. Intercept of graphs. Okay, we know that an intercept, guys, are points where the graph intercepts an axis, where they touch either the Y or X axis. Okay, the X-intercept, guys, is the X coordinate of a point where a graph crosses the X axis. Really simple, exactly what we did. X-intercept is where the graph touches the X axis, this line. The Y-intercept is the Y coordinate of a point where a graph crosses the Y axis. Okay, is that point where this graph crosses this line, the vertical line, the Y axis. And something else we want to talk about is a function. We know that a function, guys, is a relationship. It's a relation where the input is just related once with one of the output. And a function is positive, listen up, when its graph lies above the X axis. What is that? A function is positive when its graph lies above the X axis. Oh my God, what is that? And a function is negative when its graph lies below the X axis. Positive, what does this mean, guys? A graph is positive if the graph is, guys, above, means arriba, if it is above or sobre the X axis. Okay, take a look at this. This is the X axis. This part of the graph, guys, this part of the graph is above the X axis, sobre. It's above. This part is positive. Okay, this part is positive. Let me just illustrate that in a better idea. I'm gonna color that part where the graph is positive. Okay, we're gonna say that positive is the red. Okay, this part, guys, this part is above. That part is positive, and the function is negative when its graph lies below the x-axis. What part is under, guys, abajo or below the x-axis? This part, right? Okay, I'm gonna use a different color to show you that. Okay, I'm gonna use yellow to show what part the function or the graph is negative. Okay, in this part is negative because it's below the x-axis, this part. Okay, in this part too, and this part too until here. Okay, this part is negative, and this segment, guys, of the graph is what? Is positive or negative? It is positive or negative? Positive if the graph is above, is arriba, is sobre, is arriba of x-axis. And it is negative if it is below the x-axis. Red or yellow? Yes, it's gonna be red. Okay, this is basically, guys, how we identify what section of the graph is going to be positive or negative. Positive, guys, all the part where the graph is above the x-axis. And it is negative if it is under or if it is below the x-axis. If you didn't get it, don't worry. I'm going to have more examples. Okay, we are going to interpret, guys, and find the y and x intercept of a graph, a nonlinear function. This is nonlinear because this is not a straight line, it's nonlinear. We're going to talk about this later. We're going to use this graph, guys, to estimate what is the x and y intercept of this particular function, and then we're going to describe where the function is positive and negative. At what point this function is going to be positive and negative. Let's start off by identifying the x-intercept. The x-intercept, guys, is where the graph crosses the x-axis. Can someone tell me what are the points? Where does this graph intercept the x-axis, this line? At what point? What are the points? I'm going to give you the first one. And this point, guys, this graph intercept, okay, this point. Okay, let me make this one. Okay, in this point, this is a point where this graph intercept. That is an intercept. And what is the value for x in that point, guys?
Negative.
What is x? X is -1,
Negative.
-2, -3,
-4.
-4. Okay. And what is the value for y for this point? How many units is moving up or down on this one? 0, because it's not moving. Do you remember, guys? It's 0 for y. Okay. That is the first point, -4, 0. Okay, now let's identify the second intercept. The second intercept is, what is this point, guys?
3.
Okay, 3, excellent. That is the point, the x-intercept. Okay, it's 3 for x. Okay, 3 for x. And how many units for y?
0.
0, because it's not moving. It's exactly in x, guys. That is the idea. Whenever we talk about the intercept, as I told you, if you're talking about the x-intercept, y is 0. Take a look, y is 0. Just like that. Okay, now y-intercept. Try to do it. Okay, then we're going to use this pink color to illustrate the y-intercept. The y-intercept, guys, is the point, the y-coordinate point where the graph crosses the y-axis. This is the y-axis. Okay, in this point, no. Oh, here is the accident, guys. Here is exactly where the crash, guys, was taking place. Okay, at this point. Okay, but okay, let me copy this. And what is that point, guys? What is that point, guys?
-12.
Okay, remember that a point is, guys, x, y. What is the value for x in that point?
0.
0, correct. 0 for x. And what is the value for y in that point?
-12.
-1, -2, 6, and -12. That's correct. -12. Again, this is the y-intercept, then x is 0. I want you to memorize that. X-intercept, y is 0. Y-intercept, x is 0. Just the opposite. Notice that we are asked to describe where the function is positive and negative. Do you remember, guys, a function is positive if it lies above the x-axis. All the part that is up, guys, the x-axis, above the x-axis, is going to be positive. Okay, what part is above x, guys? This is the x-axis. Okay, this is the x-axis. What part is on above that? Sobre eso. What part is above that? I think this part, right? This part, and I think this part is above that, right? Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay, is positive in what? When what, guys? What points? Okay, maybe you're gonna get a little bit confused with this because I haven't explained. When x is less than, what value is this, guys?
-4.
Okay, when x is less than -4, because all of this graph is gonna be increasing, -4, okay, -4. And when x, what is the other part that is increasing, guys, that is growing up, positive? When x is equals to or greater than or equals to what value? What is the other value, guys, where this function is positive?
+3.
+3, okay? Just leave it like that, guys. This, from this point, guys, to the left, x less than 94, this is greater than, less than or greater, less than -4, or when x is greater than or equals to +3. And this part is increasing. Maybe, guys, if you don't get this, guys, no problem. But I want you to have the idea graphically. And what in this part is positive or negative, guys? Is under, is up below the x-axis.
Negative.
That part of the function is negative. Okay, let me just draw it. Like here. This part is negative. Okay, that part is negative. And what part? That negative part is x is between what? Between what point? Between -4 and
+3.
-4 and +3. Just like that. Maybe I don't want you to do this exactly like this, but just to have the idea. This part is positive, this part is positive, this part is negative. Even if you cannot make this, you can say this. Okay, this is the negative part, negative. And what is the positive part? The positive. Just like that. Okay, again, let's go to the practice time. We're going to use this graph, guys, to estimate what is the x and y-intercept of a function. And eventually, we're going to describe where the function is positive and negative. It's exactly what we did. Okay, let's have a look at the first example. This is a linear function. Why is linear, mister? How do you know that this is a linear function? Because it's a line. When it's line, it's a linear function. Okay, let's have a look. We're going to start off, guys, by identifying the x and y-intercept. Okay, I'm going to start off by identifying x-intercept. Okay, x-int. That means x-intercept. Okay, can someone tell me what is the x-intercept? Where does this graph crosses the x-axis? The x-axis, this axis. What is that point, guys? This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is
-1.
-2, -3. It is like, yeah, -1. We can say that is -1. Okay, this point, guys. This point is, guys, the x-intercept. Okay, that is where the graph crosses the x-axis, which is x -1. Okay, let's copy it, guys. X, comma, y. What is the value for x? You said for x is -1. And for y, guys, how many units is this point up or down? No, it hasn't moved itself. It's y is equals to
0.
0.
0. Excellent. When x-intercept, y is 0. Okay, now let's find the y-intercept. Okay, y-intercept. Okay, we want to find a y-intercept. Okay, let's look for the y-intercept. Okay, this is y. Okay, let's look where this graph is crossed, guys. Exactly. Okay, maybe this is, let me put these values here. This is 1 for y, 2 for y, 3 for y, 4 for y, -1, -2, -3. What is the point where this graph crosses the y-axis? 1, 2,
3.
at 3. Okay, at this
3.
point. Okay, at 3. Okay, this is the point where it crosses. It's 3. Okay, let's put that point, guys. Let's put the point. X, comma, y. What is the value for x for this point? This is x. 1, 2, 3. What is the value for x?
0.
0.
0.
Okay, 0. And what is the value for y?
3.
3.
3.
Okay, again, exactly. X-intercept implies that x is 0. Y-intercept implies that x is 0. It's like the opposite. Okay, we're done with this. Now we need to identify where this graph is positive and where this graph is negative. Okay, where this graph is positive, guys. Positive is if it is above the x-axis.
It's
This
positive
what?
in the X-intercept, that is -1.
Excellent.
And in X-intercept, that is 3.
Okay, thank you. Positive. Thank you. From this point, guys, from this intercept to the right is positive. From -1, okay, you're gonna say it. Positive is from when x is greater than or equals greater than the -1. Okay, if you don't understand this, don't worry. I just want to identify that this part is positive. Okay, in this part, guys, I'm gonna draw the yellow part. Can someone tell me what is this? Is positive or negative?
Negative.
Okay, you're gonna say this part, mister, is negative. It's negative. And what is that point? It is when x is less than -1. Okay, just like that. Let's have a look at the number 2. Okay, again, we're gonna do the same thing. Okay, we're gonna start off by identifying the x-intercept. Can someone tell me where this graph crosses the x-axis? This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is -1, -2, -3. Where does this graph crosses the x-axis? At this point and at this point, right? What are this point, guys? What is this point equals to, guys? It is like
-1.
negative 1 point something, right? Because it's between
Yeah,
-1 and -2.
-1.5.
Okay, let's say
Like
-1. Okay, -1, -1.5. And what is the value for y for that point, guys? How many units is this point up or down?
0.
0. Okay, excellent. That is the y-intercept. And we have another y-intercept. What is the other y-intercept, guys?
1.5, we can say too.
Yeah, I think it is going to be 1.5 positive, right? This point, 1.5 positive. And what is the value for y? 0. Correct, it's 0. Then let's go to the y-intercept. What is the y-intercept, guys? Where does this graph cross a y-axis?
-2.
Okay, let's say this is -1, -2. Yes, at that point, -2. Okay, -2. Okay, what is the value for x in that point?
0.
X is this. 0 because it's not moving it. Okay, neither right nor left. And what is the value for y?
-2.
Okay, we're done with that, guys. Now, whether it's positive or negative. It's positive, guys. A graph is positive. A function is positive if it is above this x-axis. Okay, whatever it is above, guys, sobre, arriba, above this line is positive. Okay, what is above this line? This part. Okay, let me see it. Let me see. What color did I use, guys? I think I used like this green, right? Okay, this part, guys. This part. Okay, that's awful. Okay, this part. Okay, and what else? And this part. That part is what?
Positive.
Positive. Okay, and what are the points, guys? Maybe this point is, guys, is positive from -2. Okay, x less than -2, and x greater than what?
Positive.
Point. No, it's 1.5. Sorry, my bad. It's -1.5. It's not 2. 1.5. Okay, let me correct that. -1.5. -1.5, and the other one is positive 1.5, greater than. All the values greater than this to the right